I need to tell you something, I said, trying to keep my voice from shaking. Lena turned to me, her eyes bright with curiosity. You sound serious, Ethan. What is it? My throat tightened. I like you. Actually, I think I'm in love with you. For a moment, silence. Then a sound soft at first, then louder. She laughed. I blinked. What's funny? Come on, she said, grinning. You in love with me? Her two friends, standing nearby, exchanged glances before bursting out laughing too. I could feel my face burning. Why is that so impossible? Lena tilted her head. You're sweet, Ethan, but you're not. My type? Your type? She smirked. You're too simple. Too ordinary. You think helping me with notes and walking me home means something? It meant something to me, I whispered. Her laughter cut through me again. You're such a nice guy. But nice guys don't get girls like me, her friends giggled. One of them muttered, he really thought he had a chance. I tried to smile, but my chest felt heavy. I didn't expect you to feel the same. I just needed to be honest.
Oh.
Honesty's cute, Lena said, picking up her bag, but it doesn't change reality. She walked away with her friends, their laughter echoing behind her. I stood there, frozen. My hands were trembling. The world blurred a little around the edges. By the time I walked home, the sky had opened up. Rain poured down, soaking through my clothes. I didn't bother running. Noah opened the door when I reached my apartment. What the hell happened to you? I dropped my bag. She laughed. Lena. I nodded. He sighed. You told her? Yeah, and she made it a joke. He rubbed his face. Man, she's not worth it. Forget her. I sat on the couch, staring at the wall. I can't. Not yet. You will, he said softly. She's just one girl. She wasn't just one girl to me, I said. She was everything I thought love could be. Noah sat beside me. You've got a big heart, Ethan. But some people don't know what to do with kindness. They mistake it for weakness. I let out a dry laugh. She posted about me, didn't she? He hesitated. Don't check your phone. That was all the answer I needed. I grabbed it anyway. The post hit me like a punch. Some people mistake kindness for a chance they'll never get. Underneath a laughing emoji and a few comments. Oh my God, who's this about? We all know. I threw the phone aside. She humiliated me. Noah didn't speak. He just sat there, quiet. I don't get it, I said after a moment. All I ever did was care for her. I listened when she cried about her parents. I stayed up helping her with projects. She never asked for that, Noah interrupted gently. You gave your heart to someone who only wanted attention. I looked down at my hands. So it's my fault? No, he said. It's not about fault. It's about value. You gave her more than she could handle. The rain kept beating against the window. Each drop felt like a memory trying to drown me. Do you think she ever regretted? I asked quietly. Noah looked at me. Maybe one day. But you can't wait for her to regret it. You have to move on. I nodded, though I didn't believe him. I wanted her to see me. She saw you, he said. She just chose not to understand you. I leaned back, closing my eyes. Maybe she was right. Maybe I am ordinary. Noah stood up. Ordinary people don't care this deeply. You've got something rare. Don't let her take that away. His words echoed in my head long after he left. When the rain stopped, I stepped outside. The streetlights glowed on the wet pavement. My reflection stared back at me, tired, small, broken. I whispered, You really thought love was enough. The city was silent except for the distant hum of cars. Somewhere inside me, a cold fire started to burn, small but real. I pulled out my phone and looked at her post again. Her smiling face stared back at me, full of confidence and cruelty. I whispered, One day you'll wish you hadn't laughed. The next morning, Noah called. You okay? I'm fine, I said flatly. You sound like you're planning something. Maybe I am. What kind of plan? The kind that makes people remember what they lost, he sighed. Just don't lose yourself trying to prove something. I already lost myself, I said. Now, I'm just trying to build someone new. After hanging up, I stood by the window watching the sunrise. It was quiet, painfully quiet. I took a deep breath and whispered to myself, never again. My phone buzzed again. Another post from her. Success is dating up. I smiled bitterly. Enjoy it while it lasts. In that moment, something shifted inside me. The part that begged for her attention finally died. All that was left was a quiet promise. One I made to the reflection staring back at me. I'll make her regret ever laughing at me. And this time, I meant it. Ethan, can I see you in my office? Mr. Turner's voice came from behind my cubicle. I looked up from my desk. Sure, just a minute. Nice. He didn't wait. He just turned and walked away. That was never a good sign. When I stepped inside, his tone was already rehearsed. We're downsizing. Your position's been made redundant. I frowned. Redundant? I've been here for years, sir. He avoided my eyes. I'm sorry. It's not personal. I laughed under my breath. Not personal? Then why did Ryan Brooks visit this office yesterday? His head snapped up. Ethan, don't start assumptions. I saw him, I said. Outside? With Lena. She's his girlfriend now, right? Mr. Turner sighed. You need to move on from whatever personal matters you have. This is business. And why did business end the moment her new boyfriend walked in? He pressed his lips together, not answering. I picked up the resignation letter he'd already printed. My name was typed on it neatly, as if my firing was planned days ago. You couldn't even let me quit with dignity? Please, Ethan, he said. Don't make this harder. I forced a smile. Oh, it's not hard anymore. When I walked out, the whole office was whispering. Some looked away. Others didn't bother hiding their smirks. I caught a glimpse of Lena standing near reception, pretending not to see me. Ryan's arm was around her waist. She laughed at something he whispered. That same laugh, sharp, familiar, cruel. I carried the box of my things out the door, the sound echoing in my mind. Outside, the cold wind hit my face. My phone buzzed. Text from my coworker. I'm sorry. Ethan, I tried to say something. Text from unknown. Guess love doesn't pay rent. Another from someone else. She moved on fast. I turned off my phone. The world could laugh without me hearing it. By the time I reached home, Noah was already there, sitting on the steps with 2 coffees. Rough day? I dropped the box beside him. They fired me. Oh, he didn't look surprised. You knew it was coming. I thought I had time, I said quietly. Time to fix things. To prove myself. He handed me the coffee. To who? Her? Or yourself? I stared at the cup. I don't even know anymore. Ow. You've been trying to win her approval since college. Maybe this is life's way of saying enough. I laughed bitterly. Feels more like life saying, you lose. No, he said firmly. You're not broken, Ethan. You're just unshaped. Unshaped? I repeated, yeah, you've got all the right pieces, heart, brain, loyalty. You just haven't built the man you're supposed to be yet. The word echoed in my mind. Unshaped. I looked out the window. Rain was starting again, slow and rhythmic. I saw her, you know. Outside the office, he frowned. Lena. Yeah, with him, Ryan. She looked. Happy. Noah sighed. She's pretending. People like her need attention like oxygen. She'll suffocate eventually, maybe, I said. But right now, I'm the one gasping. He didn't respond. Just took a sip of coffee and stared at the floor. I continued, it's funny. I thought losing her was rock bottom. Turns out rock bottom had a basement. Then climb out, he said simply. Climb out and do what? Start over with nothing? He shrugged. You've got more than you think. You've got time. You've got me. You've got the fire I can already see in your eyes. I don't want fire, I muttered. I just want peace. Peace doesn't come to the kind-hearted man. It comes to the rebuilt. I looked at him. What if I disappear? Just leave everything behind. Wouldn't blame you, he said. Sometimes you have to vanish to find yourself again. I nodded slowly. Disappear. Yeah, maybe that's what I need. He glanced at me, realizing I wasn't joking. Ethan, where would you even go? Anywhere that's not here, I said. Somewhere no one knows my name, he sighed. You think running will fix it? No, I said, but staying here will kill me. We sat in silence for a while, the sound of the rain filling the room. He finally said, then promise me one thing. If you disappear, make it count. Don't come back until you've got something worth returning for. I met his eyes. Something like revenge? Something like pride, he said. That night, I packed a small bag, just essentials. A few clothes, my old laptop, and a notebook with ideas I'd never had time to chase. I wrote a note and left it on the table for Noah. Don't look for me. I'll find me first. Before I left, I stood by the window, staring at the city lights fading into the distance. My reflection looked different already, empty, but focused. The phone buzzed again, one last notification before I turned it off. Lena Hart tagged Ryan Brooks in a post. Proud of you, baby. You deserve everything good coming your way. I exhaled, slow and steady. Yeah, I whispered. We'll see about that, as the rain started to fall harder. I stepped out the door without looking back, for the first time in a long while. The pain didn't crush me, it carried me forward, and I promised myself when I return, I won't be the man she laughed at. I'll be the man she can't reach. The first city I moved to didn't even know my name. That felt like freedom. I rented a tiny room above a bakery. The walls were cracked, the bed creaked, and every night smelled like burnt bread. But it was mine. I spent my mornings working part-time at a repair shop, my nights learning code on a borrowed laptop. The owner, Mr. Lin, would peek in sometimes. You're still awake? It's past midnight. I can't sleep, I'd say. Not until I figure this out. He'd smile. You study like a man with ghosts. I do, I said quietly. 2 years passed that way, slow, painful, but honest. No one knew my past, and I liked it that way. Lena became a memory, a dull ache instead of an open wound. But sometimes, I'd hear laughter outside my window and still flinch. One morning, while fixing a customer's tablet, Mr. Lin said, You're wasted here. Ethan, you think too big for this counter? I'm not ready yet, I said. Ready for what? To be seen again. He laughed softly. Then you better make sure they can't look away next time. That same week, I saw a flyer for a local business seminar. The speaker was someone named Daniel King, a retired tech investor. The ticket cost half my savings, but I went anyway. The hall was small, filled with people in suits. I sat in the last row in my worn-out jacket. Daniel spoke about risk, failure, and grit. His voice carried weight not from money but from experience. After the session, he stayed back to talk to people. I waited until everyone left. He noticed me lingering near the door. You didn't ask any questions. I didn't have the right to, I said. I haven't done anything worth asking about yet. He chuckled. At least you're honest. What's your story? I used to work in an office, I said. Got fired. Lost everything. I'm rebuilding, I think. He studied me for a second. You've got that look hunger mixed with pain. The kind that either breaks a man or builds an empire. I'd settle for a job right now. Jobs are for stability, he said. You want redemption. His words hit me like lightning. Redemption? I repeated. He nodded. I'm mentoring a few young builders. Come by tomorrow. Show me what you can do. That night, I barely slept. I kept repeating his words, hunger mixed with pain, when I met him again. I brought a rough idea. I'd been working on a simple digital service to help small shops track customers and sales. Daniel looked through my notes. You've built this alone? Yeah, I said. In my spare time. He leaned back, smiling. You're not unshaped anymore, Ethan. You're forming into something sharp. Hearing that reminded me of Noah's words. Unshaped. Maybe he was right. Maybe I was finally becoming something. Daniel introduced me to people who actually listened when I spoke. He gave me a small office, a chance. And most importantly, belief. We started small, 3 of us. One borrowed computer, zero comfort. But we had fire. Some nights when the others went home, I stayed late, staring at our progress charts. The numbers were small, but they were mine. Daniel would drop by occasionally. "Still working? Still learning?" I'd reply. He smiled. "Good. Never let comfort kill your hunger." As months passed, our tiny idea grew. Clients came through word of mouth. I saw our first profit, then our first proper office space. The first time we hit a major contract, Daniel clapped my back. "Feels good, doesn't it?" "It does," I said. "But it's quiet." "Quiet." I nodded. "It's not the kind of victory people see. It's just me knowing I survived." He laughed. "That's the best kind." Every success felt like a whisper of revenge. Not loud. Not cruel, just satisfying. But even in the noise of celebration, I could still hear that old laughter. Lena's voice lived in the back of my mind, not as pain anymore, but as fuel. One evening, I told Daniel, "Do you ever forget the people who made you fall?" He smiled faintly. "No, you just stopped needing them to remember you." I thought about that long after he left. Maybe I didn't need her to remember me. Maybe I just needed to become unforgettable. When our company name finally appeared in a small business magazine, I folded the page carefully and placed it in my drawer. I didn't post it online. I didn't send it to anyone. I just stared at it and whispered, "Step 1. The silence I'd lived in for years wasn't empty anymore. It was power waiting to be heard. And when the world finally did hear my name again, I wanted her to be listening." 3 years changed everything except the memories. When my plane landed back in the city, I felt a strange chill in my chest. I wasn't the man who left with a box of broken dreams. I came back as the CEO of a company people finally respected. Noah met me at the terminal, grinning. "You ready for this? Ready to close the deal?" I said. He nudged me. "Or ready to see her again?" I didn't answer. Some truths didn't need air. Our car pulled up to the Brooks Enterprises building, all glass, steel, and arrogance. I'd read about Ryan's success, his expansion, his perfect image, but standing in front of his empire now, I realized something. He built it fast, too fast. It's the kind of speed that cracks foundations. We entered the conference room. Executives lined the table. I shook hands, exchanged polite greetings, and then I saw her, Lena. She sat beside Ryan, polished, elegant, distant. For a second she froze, then her lips parted in disbelief. "Ethan," she whispered. I smiled, slow and controlled. "Nice to see you again, Lena." Ryan looked between us. "You two know each other?" Her voice wavered. "We used to work together." "Work together," Noah muttered under his breath, smirking. I stayed composed. "It's been a while," I said, taking my seat. Lena's eyes didn't leave me. Every glance felt like a flicker of the past. The office laughter, the betrayal, the night I lost everything. Ryan started the meeting. "So Ethan, your proposal for the software integration impressed us?" "We're excited about this partnership." "Glad to hear that," I replied. "We value integrity above everything." Noah kicked me lightly under the table. Too sharp, his eyes warned. Ryan leaned back. "Integrity is important, especially in business." "Especially when you build something from the ground up," I said, without shortcuts. Silence rippled through the room. Lena shifted uncomfortably. Ryan chuckled. "I see you've done well for yourself." "I learned from the best mistakes," I said. Noah coughed to hide a laugh. Lena finally spoke, her voice barely steady. "Ethan, your company. I've heard amazing things. I'm surprised you've heard anything at all." Her lips trembled. "You disappeared." "I didn't disappear," I said softly. "I was just becoming," Ryan interrupted, trying to steer the meeting back. "Let's discuss the financial structure." For the next hour, we negotiated. Kept my tone measured, professional, detached, but I felt her eyes on me the entire time. Every number I spoke, every document I signed, she watched like she was memorizing a ghost that refused to stay buried. When the deal concluded, Ryan extended his hand. "To a prosperous future." I shook it. Let's make sure it's built on trust this time. His brow furrowed, but he smiled tightly. Of course. As the room cleared, Lena stayed seated. Noah lingered near the door, smirking. I'll wait outside, he said quietly. Now she remembers. When it was just us. The silence thickened. Lena stood, her voice soft. You've changed. I had to. You look different. Stronger. I learned that pain is a better teacher than love. Her eyes dropped. I never meant to hurt you, Ethan. Yes, you did, I said. But that's okay. You helped me find out who I really am. She took a hesitant step closer. I heard about your company. You built it from nothing? Nothing but humiliation, I said. It's a strong foundation when you know how to use it. Her eyes shimmered. You hate me? I shook my head. No, I don't have space for hate anymore. Then why do I feel like every success of yours is aimed at me? I exhaled slowly, 'cause maybe part of it is. She looked away, voice trembling. Ryan doesn't know the full story? I don't care if he does? You should, she said. He doesn't forgive easily. I smiled faintly. Neither do I. The door opened. Ryan poked his head in. Everything okay here? Lena turned instantly. Yes, we were just catching up, I finished. Ryan's eyes flicked between us, curious but silent. We'll see you at the dinner tonight, right? Of course, I said. He nodded and left. When the door closed again, Lena whispered, You don't belong in his world, Ethan. I leaned closer, my voice calm. No, Lena, he doesn't belong in mine. Her breath caught. I picked up my briefcase, straightened my jacket, and looked at her one last time. Goodbye, Lena. I hope someday you stop laughing at ghosts. As I walked out, Noah joined me in the hallway. That went well, he said, grinning. Define well, I replied. She looked like she'd seen karma in a suit. I couldn't help but smile. Maybe she did. Outside, the city lights flickered like memories reignited. The same streets that once buried me now echoed my return. 3 years of silence had ended with one meeting, and for the first time I saw regret not in my reflection but in hers. The whispers started small, a few missed payments, a few delayed projects, but in this city, rumors spread faster than truth. Ryan Brooks Enterprises was collapsing under its own pride. Noah called me that morning, excitement in his voice. You seeing this? Brooks' stock is in freefall. I looked at my phone screen, headlines flashing. Debt, lawsuits, unpaid vendors. I murmured. He's drowning. Guess karma finally bought a watch, Noah said. Chuckling, I smiled faintly, but said nothing. As I sat in my apartment reviewing new contracts, my phone buzzed again, a message that froze me. Can we talk? Lena. For a long time I just stared at it. The words felt too simple, too calm for the storm she'd helped create years ago. I typed slowly. About business, or the past. The reply came fast. Both we met at a quiet cafe downtown, the same one we used to visit when we were colleagues. Back then, she used to laugh too loud. Tonight, she looked like she'd forgotten how. Ethan, she said softly, standing as I approached. Lena, you came. I was curious, I said. Curiosity built my company, after all. She smiled weakly. You've changed, so I've heard. We've sat across from each other. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Only the soft hum of rain outside filled the space between us. She finally broke the silence. I owe you an apology. For what? I asked. The laughter? The betrayal? Or the silence after? Her eyes flickered down. All of it. That's a lot to pack into one apology, she sighed. You were. Too nice, Ethan. Too patient. I thought I wanted more. You got what you wanted, I said quietly. She looked up, surprised. You don't sound angry. Not, I said. Anger was a luxury I burned away to survive. She fidgeted with her cup. Ryan's company, things aren't good. He's trying to hold it together, but I raised a brow. Is this conversation about him or about you? Both, maybe, she whispered. He's made mistakes, Ethan. He likes stealing contracts. I interrupted. Underpaying his people? Manipulating investors. She flinched. You've been watching. Ah! Observing, I corrected. It's what survivors do. Her eyes filled with something I hadn't seen in years. Guilt. You sound so cold. Cold keeps me alive, she hesitated. You don't have to enjoy this, you know? Enjoy what? I asked, watching everything fall apart. I gave a faint smile. I'm not watching it fall. I'm just not saving it, she swallowed. He's not the only one struggling, Ethan. I'm trying to keep things together. I thought maybe we could what? I leaned forward. Rebuild the past? Start over. Her voice cracked. No, just talk. Then talk, I said. She looked me in the eye. I was wrong. About you. About what I wanted. Ryan gave me attention, but not peace. You gave me peace, and I threw it away. I exhaled slowly. It's funny. You always wanted more. Now I'm more, and you can't have me. Her lips trembled. You've become cruel, I said. I've become untouchable. Tears shimmered in her eyes. Ethan, please. I didn't come here for pity or favors. I just needed to say sorry. I studied her face, her shaking hands, the cracks in her voice. For the first time, I saw her not as the girl who mocked me, but as a person realizing too late what she destroyed. I believe you, I said finally. She blinked. You do? Yes, I said. Because you're not lying to me anymore. You're lying to yourself. She bit her lip, eyes glistening. You don't have to be so cruel to make your point. I stood slowly. This isn't cruelty, Lena. It's closure. She lowered her eyes, silent. I turned to leave, pausing only once. Revenge was never about hurting you, I said. It was about becoming someone you could never reach again. When I stepped out into the night, the rain had stopped. The city lights glimmered on the wet streets like reflections of who I used to be, scattered, broken, and fading. But this time I didn't look back. The city loved drama, and Ryan Brooks just gave it a feast. By morning, every business blog and gossip site was on fire. Ryan Brooks caught cheating on wife Lena Brooks with his assistant? The headline was everywhere. Photos, screenshots, leaked messages, Olivia Brooks. Ryan's own cousin and head of PR had made sure the world saw everything. Noah barged into my office, waving his phone. You seeing this? The mighty Brooks empire just imploded. I didn't look up from my laptop. I saw. He grinned. Man, karma's not playing around this time. His investors are jumping ship. The press is tearing him apart enough, I said quietly. Noah raised an eyebrow. What's wrong? You should be celebrating. I'm not sure I remember how. Before he could respond, my assistant knocked. Mr. Hale, there's someone here to see you. Who? Her voice dropped. Lena Brooks. Noah gave a low whistle. This should be good. Send her in. The door opened slowly, and Lena stepped inside. Her eyes were swollen, makeup smudged, voice trembling. She wasn't the polished woman I'd seen in boardrooms. She was cracked porcelain. Ethan said, barely holding herself together. Please. I didn't know where else to go. I gestured toward the chair. Sit. She did, her hands shaking as she tried to speak. Everything's gone. Ryan, he cheated on me. With his assistant, Olivia leaked everything. The press won't stop calling. My friends stopped answering. Her voice cracked. I don't have anyone left. For a long moment, I said nothing. The silence was thick, almost suffocating. She looked up, desperate. Say something, please. I leaned back, watching her through the haze of old memories. The rain that night, her laughter, the way she made me feel small, disposable. Do you remember? I said slowly. How hard it rained that night. I walked home after you laughed at me. Her lips parted. Ethan, you were standing with your friends, I continued. I told you I loved you. You laughed, Lena. You laughed like it was the funniest thing you'd ever heard. Tears slid down her face. I was stupid. No, I said softly. You were cruel. She covered her face. Please don't do this. Not now. I stood, walking toward the window, not doing anything. Just reminding you how it feels to be on the floor while the world laughs. She looked up, eyes red. You think I deserve this? I think, I said, turning to face her. You finally understand it. Her voice broke. Ethan, please. I can't handle this alone. I met her gaze, steady. You handled breaking me alone. You'll survive this too. She shook her head violently. I didn't come here for pity. I came because I thought you'd understand.
Understand what?
I asked what it's like to lose everything. I exhaled slowly. I do understand. That's why I rebuilt everything without asking anyone for help. She sobbed openly now, clutching her hands together. You don't mean that. You still care? I know you do. For a second, the old me flickered, the boy who wanted to comfort her, who wanted to believe her tears were real. But then I remembered the rain, the laughter, the ache that carved me into what I'd become. I used to, I said quietly, but not anymore. She stood, tears falling freely. You've turned into someone else, I nodded. Someone stronger. She took a step closer. Someone colder. Maybe that's what strength looks like now. Her voice trembled. You're enjoying this, aren't you? No, I said. That's the worst part. I thought it would feel like victory, but it doesn't. She looked around the room, the glass walls, the staff glancing in with pity. She realized they'd seen everything. Her humiliation wasn't private anymore. Everyone's watching, she whispered. Now you know how it feels to be laughed at, I said softly. She broke then, completely. Her knees buckled, and she covered her face, sobbing. My assistant stepped forward, but I raised a hand. Let her be. The sound of her crying echoed through the office. For a second, I almost told her it would be okay, but lies didn't suit me anymore. When she finally left, the room felt hollow. Noah stepped in a minute later, slow clapping. Wow, that was poetic. She deserved every second of that. I didn't answer. He frowned. Hey, don't tell me you're feeling sorry for her. I stared out the window. No, just thinking about what? How justice feels less like peace, I said quietly, and more like silence.
How ice?
Noah crossed his arms. You finally got what you wanted, man. She's ruined. He's exposed. That's full circle karma right there. Maybe, I said. But revenge doesn't fill the emptiness. It just decorates it. He sighed. You're overthinking this. Maybe, I murmured. Or maybe I finally see the truth. Justice doesn't heal the wound. It just closes it. Outside, the city was still buzzing with scandal. But in that glass office, all I felt was quiet. Empty. Quiet victory. Claire leaned against my office door, arms crossed. You've been staring at that same document for 20 minutes. I looked up from my desk. Just tired. She stepped inside. No, you're haunted. I gave a dry laugh. Haunted by success, maybe. She didn't smile. You think revenge heals, but it only replaces pain with pride. That's not healing, Ethan. That's hiding. Her words hit harder than I wanted to admit. You think I should feel guilty? I think you should feel something other than emptiness. I looked at her, silent. Claire had always seen more than most. Too much, maybe. She sighed. I saw Lena's face when she left your office. You destroyed her. She destroyed me first. Maybe, she said softly, but you chose to become what she made you. I looked away. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. I've seen that look before on my brother's face after he got cheated on. He thought revenge would fix him. It didn't. I rubbed my temples. Claire, please. I'm fine. She shook her head. No, Ethan. You're just pretending fine looks like indifference. Her voice lingered long after she left. I sat there, staring at the skyline until the city lights blurred into streaks of gold and gray. That night, sleep refused to come. I lay in bed, the ceiling spinning above me. My father's voice came back, soft, steady. It's the way it always did when I lost direction. Son, he'd said once, don't let pain define your worth. You're more than what people do to you. I whispered into the dark. Maybe I forgot that. By morning, the storm in my chest hadn't quieted. I grabbed my jacket, got in the car, and drove. No destination, just instinct. An hour later, I found myself parked across from a small cafe on Wuth Avenue. Through the glass, I saw her, Lena, wearing a simple apron, hair tied back. Serving coffee to a couple of students, she looked ordinary, human, the kind of person I used to know before money, before pride, before betrayal. I hesitated at the door before walking in. The bell chimed. She turned, froze, then forced a faint smile. Ethan, Lena. I kept my tone even. She wiped her hands nervously. I didn't expect to see you here. I didn't plan to be here. She nodded, awkward silence filling the space. Do you want coffee? Sure. She poured it quietly, then set the cup in front of me. Her hands trembled slightly. I heard about your company's new project. Congratulations. Thanks. I took a sip. Looks like you're doing okay too. Her laugh was hollow. If you call minimum wage and leftover muffins okay, then sure. I didn't respond. She stared at the counter. Ryan's gone. Took what was left and disappeared. I raised an eyebrow. Still chasing better, huh? She flinched. Don't what? Remind you? Remind me I was stupid, she said. I already know. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The cafe hummed quietly with distant chatter and the hiss of the espresso machine. Finally, she whispered, I wish I'd seen who you really were. I met her eyes. You did. She swallowed. Then why didn't I choose you? Because you didn't want real, I said. You wanted shiny? Her eyes filled with tears. And now? Now you know what real costs. She nodded slowly, voice breaking. I'm sorry, Ethan. I know. I stood to leave. She reached out, her fingers brushing mine for just a second. Do you hate me? I looked at her hand. Soft, fragile, uncertain. No, I said. I just don't care anymore. Her lip quivered. That's worse. Maybe, I said, pulling my hand away. But it's peace. As I walked toward the door, she whispered, barely audible, Take care of yourself. I didn't turn around. You too. Outside, the cold air bit against my skin. The city noise swallowed the silence I carried inside. For the first time in a long time, I didn't feel angry, or sad, or even victorious. Just done. I got into my car, started the engine, and glanced once more at the cafe through the mirror. She was still standing there, watching me leave. I whispered to myself, we both lost something, but maybe that's how we finally let go. And for the first time since that night in the rain, I drove without looking back. The spotlight hit my face as I stepped onto the stage. The crowd's applause roared, a sound I once dreamed of but never imagined would actually come. My company's logo flashed behind me, Haven Tech Solutions. Bold and proud, I adjusted the mic, took a slow breath, and began. 3 years ago, I was unemployed, humiliated and angry. Today I stand here not because I wanted revenge, but because I wanted purpose. A few heads nodded in the audience. I continued, pain is a teacher. It either breaks you or builds you, depending on how long you keep listening. As I spoke, my eyes scanned the room, and then I saw her. Lena, she was sitting near the back, half hidden behind the crowd. Her hair tied neatly, her eyes red, but attentive. For a second, the world slowed. My voice almost faltered. I forced myself to continue. Success isn't proving people wrong. It's proving yourself right. Applause echoed again. I smiled, but my pulse raced. Seeing her after all this time, after everything, stirred something I thought I'd buried. After the speech, people crowded around me. Investors, young entrepreneurs, journalists. Flashes from cameras blurred my vision. Compliments poured in. You were inspiring, Ethan. Powerful words. Sir, you've built something incredible. I shook hands, smiled, thanked them, the practiced charm of someone who'd learned how to wear confidence like armor. But through it all, I kept glancing toward the exit where I'd seen her disappear. When the hall finally emptied, I stepped outside. The night air was cold, sharp, grounding. That's when I heard her voice behind me. Ethan turned. She stood by the pillars, holding her purse tightly, her expression soft, Not the proud, untouchable Lena I once knew. "Lena," I said quietly. "You came. I wanted to see you speak." She hesitated. I didn't think I'd have the courage, but I had to. I nodded. "You look different," she smiled faintly. "Life has a way of humbling you," I said. "It does." For a moment, silence stretched between us, awkward, heavy, but not bitter. "Just full of unspoken history," she finally said. "I'm happy for you." The sincerity in her voice caught me off guard. "Thank you. You deserve this," she continued softly. "All of it. You worked for it. I see that now." I met her gaze. "Took you long enough." She let out a small laugh, sad, genuine. "I guess it did." The wind brushed past us, carrying the faint sounds of the city, car horns, distant laughter. Life moving on. "I saw your interview last month," she said. "When you said, 'Failure taught me to respect silence,' that line. It stayed with me." I smiled a little. "Funny, I wrote that thinking of the night you laughed." Her eyes filled with tears. "I never forgot that night either." "I know." She stepped closer. "Do you hate me?" I shook my head. "No. I did once. But hate's just another way of holding on." She looked down. "I lost so much, Ethan." "Maybe that's what it took for you to find yourself," I said gently. She looked up, eyes shimmering. "And you? Did you find yourself?" "Eventually," I exhaled. "It wasn't through success or money. It was through realizing I didn't need anyone's approval anymore." Her lips trembled. "Not even mine?" "Especially not yours." We stood there, both quiet, both changed. The years between us felt like a lifetime to people who had finally outgrown the ghosts they once were. She whispered, "You really did become someone extraordinary." I smiled faintly. "No, I just stopped being ordinary for the wrong reasons." She took a step back, tears glistening under the streetlight. "I hope you find your peace." "I already did," I said softly. "And I hope you do too." She nodded. "Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Lena." She walked away slowly, disappearing into the crowd. No drama, no lingering glance, just quiet acceptance. I turned toward the street, the city lights flickering against the glass buildings. For the first time in years, my chest felt light, not because she finally respected me, not because I'd won, but because I didn't need her respect anymore. I looked up at the night sky and whispered, "I'm free." And this time, the silence felt like peace, not punishment. The cemetery was quiet that morning, too quiet. The kind of silence that made every breath sound heavier. I walked down the narrow stone path, the crunch of gravel beneath my shoes echoing softly. The cold air smelled like rain in memory. When I reached my father's grave, I paused. The headstone hadn't changed, still simple, still grounded like him. I knelt, brushing away a few dry leaves. "Hey, Dad," I whispered. "It's been a while." The words hung in the air, trembling slightly. "I kept my promise," I said quietly, placing a white lily on the grave. "You told me not to let pain define my worth." "I didn't. I turned it into something else. Maybe not what you'd call peace, but something close." The wind picked up, brushing against my face. For a moment it felt like he was listening. I sighed. "You'd probably laugh if you saw me now. The kid who cried in the rain over a girl, standing here talking about closure." Behind me, Claire called softly, "Take your time." Her voice brought me back to the present. Claire, steady, patient, kind. She was nothing like the storm that once consumed me. I turned slightly. "You're freezing out there." She smiled from beside the car. "I'm fine. Just don't keep your dad waiting too long. Looks like he's judging my parking." I chuckled. "He'd probably say you parked better than me." "Definitely did," she said with a grin. I turned back to the grave, my chest tightening. "You know, Dad, I used to think revenge would fix everything. I thought if she regretted what she did, I'd finally feel free. But when it happened, I just felt empty." The wind whispered again, carrying away my words. "I met someone," I continued softly. "Claire." She saw through the cracks I tried to hide. "She taught me that moving on isn't forgetting, it's forgiving." Not for them, but for yourself. I brushed my hand across the headstone. You'd have liked her? Stood slowly, brushing off the dirt from my knees. I used to come here angry. Now I just come to say thank you for reminding me who I am. As I started walking back, Claire tilted her head. You okay? Yeah, I said. Better than I've been in years. She smiled gently. Good. You look like you were finally letting go. I think I was, I admitted. For the first time, it didn't hurt to remember. She walked beside me as we made our way to the car. You talk to him like he's still here? He is, I said, just not in the way he used to be. Wise words, she teased. You sure you're not secretly writing poetry? I laughed. Maybe bad poetry. We reached the car, and she leaned against the door. You never told me what really happened between you and her. I exhaled slowly. She laughed at my love. I built an empire from that laugh. Then I realized empire wasn't the victory. Forgiving her was. Claire looked at me thoughtfully. And did you? Yeah, I said. Not for her? For me? She nodded. And that's real success. I looked at the horizon, where sunlight was beginning to break through the clouds. I used to chase success to prove her wrong. Now I just want to prove myself right. Claire opened the car door. Well, the world already knows your name, Mr. Forbes feature, I smirked. I don't care about the world anymore, she arched an eyebrow. You sure about that? Yeah, I said quietly. Because I finally respect the man I see in the mirror. She smiled. That's worth more than any magazine cover. We got into the car. The engine hummed softly as we drove down the winding road. The fields stretched endlessly on both sides. Green, peaceful, alive. Where to next? She asked. Home, I said. Wherever that is. She laughed. Deep again. I grinned. Old habit, as the cemetery disappeared behind us. I felt something inside me unclench, the last remnants of bitterness, dissolving into calm. Claire turned to me. Do you ever think about her? Sometimes, I said honestly, but not the way I used to. I don't see the girl who hurt me anymore. I just see a chapter that taught me how to write the rest of my story. That's closure. I looked out the window, the sunlight reflecting off the glass. Yeah, I whispered. That's closure. We stopped at a red light. A group of kids ran across the street, laughing. Their joy felt contagious. I caught my reflection in the window. The faint smile on my face surprised me. I thought of Lena for a brief second. Her laughter, her tears, her regret, and felt no anger, no sadness, just gratitude. Maybe revenge isn't about making someone cry, I said softly. Claire looked at me. What is it then? About earning back your respect from them, from the world, and most importantly, from yourself. She nodded slowly. And you did that, I smiled. Yeah, I finally did. As we drove into the light of a new morning, I felt at peace. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet and real. And for the first time, I smiled not as the man who was laughed at, but as the man who finally forgave.